but you know,
Good to go. Who isn't ready? Okay, we'll go ahead and call to order. Please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Jody Thompson, board member. Jamie Bailey, board member.
Bernadette Bauer, board member. Stephanie Smith, board member.
Delaney Hanson, student representative.
Chris Nesbitt, superintendent.
Izzy Cristelli, communication specialist. Jamie Jo Hiles, business education teacher. Julie Moore, principal.
Christy Kershaw, CT director.
Jeff Monroe, staff.
Eric Smith, staff.
Lisa Arnold, staff.
Somebody. Can somebody excuse me? I move for the approval of board member Cristelli to be excused for this evening.
I'll second that.
Been a motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, approval of board meeting minutes from April 27th, 2022.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the board meeting minutes for May 11th, 2022.
I'll second. It's been a motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Letters, we can just throw Susie's right out.
That's last week.
Well, why isn't that? Well, look at, see, my order says minutes from April 27th. We're gonna need to make a correction to that.
I motioned for the May 11th.
On the board agenda.
Why do I have a little,
Yeah, right, we're in the right now. You said May 11th. Okay.
that was what was on my packet link.
Hang on,
Let me go to a new one.
gotcha. I coincidentally
There you go.
had the same issue, which is why I had Eric shoot it over to me.
Out of my back, Chris.
No worries.
Thank you. Okay.
I'll thank Eric, because Eric is who got it for me.
Okay, letters, we have one higher letter.
All right, well, this is from Jeff Monroe, facility maintenance supervisor, Bill Lammers, and lead custodian, and Dave Beeler, lead custodian. The interview committee listed above interviewed Roberta Hudson on May 20th, 2022 to replace the vacant position at the Elma High School for a 2-hour lunch custodian that Colleen Casely formerly held. The interview committee has recommended offering the job to Roberta Hudson. Roberta has been an exceptional substitute custodian for the Elma School District since 2018. She always has a positive attitude at work. Her work ethic shows. She is a great team, and she's a great team player. We're excited to have her come aboard and be a part of the Elma School District. Thanks, Jeff Monroe, facility maintenance supervisor.
Thank you. And we have one resignation.
That is, I don't have that for a letter. I think that is just a
Is it under a letter?
advisory resignation.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, we want to thank Kim Hinderly as well for her service to that position. And let's see. Consent agenda. I am all over this.
I move for the approval of the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
There's been a motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, discussion items, career and college readiness by Ms. Christy Kershaw.
And it's, in addition, we'll have Izzy Cristelli and Jamie Jo Hiles will be presenting also. So in front of you, you have our portfolio for Portrait of an Elma Eagle. I just want to thank Izzy and Jamie Jo for doing a lot of this beautiful work. Izzy's style and marketing techniques are really amazing. And so we were able to put together some pretty cool stuff. Well, I'm gonna say Jamie, Joe, and Izzy. I just got to say, yeah, I like it. Pretty much our presentation and our PowerPoint goes right along with our portfolio here. Primarily tonight, what we wanted to discuss with you is our career college readiness team of educators. We've been facilitating forums for the Portrait of an Elma Eagle. And this is the culmination of all that work that we've been doing for the past, well, really since August. And what we want to do tonight is present that information to you and then have you review it and reflect it so that we can start finalizing it. We also want to just make a disclaimer that this is a living document, and even the Portrait of an Elma Eagle is a living document. And when I say living means that it's what we have now, but it could be where we review it and we adjust and as needed. Okay. Huh?
Let me see if I click
Is it-
up to.
Okay, so we actually had a lot of teams that were a part of this, and we did our best trying to recognize all the different people who were invested in this process. And you can see that we had a lot of different variety of people that were part of this. We have our education team, which was an extension out of our work from Summer Institute. We had various people on our community forum. We also had our Elma School District graduates that we did Zoom meetings, and then we had our Chamber of Commerce. And then you can see there that we had a series of meetings that went through to create our investigation of what is going to be a portrait of our graduate from Elma High School and School District, I need to say. And you'll notice there that we really worked hard on making sure that we provided a variety of options so that it was equitable to all and get voices from everybody, industry partners, business partners, community. And we also hosted Spanish versions of our community forums. So that was really important. And I want to give kudos to Karina Brown for being a part of that whole process and helping us with that. So overall, our introduction of this is that in the summer of 2021, Superintendent Chris Nesmith introduced the concept of what is our goal and vision for Elma School District, and what do we want our students to come out, what skills do they need, what traits do they need, so that they are ready for college and career. And another version of that could be life readiness also. So we've used the terms college readiness, life readiness, career readiness, kind of all over, okay? And so what we did is that at Summer Institute, we had our staff go through and do different portraits and come up with some different traits. And then we took that into further broke it down into a small committee of educators that have been volunteering their time to really work on what that looks like and how we're going to set that up. And then we pushed it out to our communities, community forums and things like that in order to gather all of this data and see what that vision is going to be. Okay, our mission behind this was to build a unified collective vision of our students, define what it is to be successful as an Elma graduate. Our vision is that all Elma students will be prepared for success now and in life after graduation. Ultimately, we want this to be not just an Elma School District vision, but a community vision. It takes a village, takes a community to raise a child. And this work was to be very inclusive with equity very much in the forefront, making sure that we heard a variety of voices and that we were collectively putting together something that could be something that the whole community and our business partners, industry partners, and school district and our educators could get behind and support. So how we did that, it was a lot of meetings, a lot of planning. There's a lot of time and energy. I look at this portfolio and it's beautiful. And I have to say, there's a lot of hours on here that are unspoken for to create this, but it was a wonderful process and a wonderful journey. Even though we may have had some forums where maybe we didn't have as many community or people there that we wanted, our conversations were rich and the quality was there. And it was wonderful to sit down with our families and just have that dialogue. And when we did our Spanish version, to have Karina Brown be able to have that and translate for us, and so that we really got that full richness of what it meant for all partners in developing our children. And so again, we worked with the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you to Bernadette for helping us set that up. That was a really rich discussion, and we had a lot of business partners there from all varieties, from entrepreneurs to Summit Pacific to law enforcement, everything. Then we also broke it out into community forums, like I said, Spanish version also with those community forums. And then we also included our previous 10 years of graduates as part of that work with a survey and also a forum. Essentially, what we were doing is trying to figure out what are the words that we need. And this was a real challenge because we had a lot of words. You're looking at there, like it ranged from motivated, responsible to kind. And even from that, we ended up playing on what do those words mean and making sure that the words meant the same for Jody as it did for Chris, as it did for Julie, as it did for any partner that we are working with. And so I'm going to turn this over. One of I'm going to say pivotal or foundational things that we've done was the Elma graduate survey that we want to do annually as a check-in. And Jamie Jo's going to talk about that.
Yeah. So we started this survey in January of this year, and we ran it on multiple social media platforms. So we shared it through various avenues. We emailed it, posted it, and it was open from classes 2011 to 2021. We did receive 131 responses through the Survey Monkey survey. And we thought that this was a really valuable tool for us because it was giving us insight as to like, what did they really value? What did they really want to see for future graduates of our school? And we thought that that was just really important to have a voice for everybody that has gone through the Elma School District. So through the demographics, you can see where it's probably a little bit larger in your packets, but you can see how the breakdown was of classes and who was primarily to take the survey. We had about 5.9% represented East Coast Harbor High School and 94.1% was Elma High School graduates. We also had their gender. And then we really wanted to know also about like, where are you at as far as like income level, and also what post-secondary options have you chosen to go forward with? And so this was pretty insightful for us because as staff, sometimes we don't necessarily know where the students go after they graduate high school. And so it's kind of neat to know what's their employment status and those types of things. And are they doing well after high school, and just be really transparent about the value of their Elma education. So this is where we were able to get some quotes and insight from them. It was very, I feel like, fulfilling to see what they were saying. And it also makes you want to grow as an educator too. And I think that this was just a really beneficial program that I hope we can do annually to just get that feedback and know where are we really strong at as a district and where can we grow. So, thank you.
So here you can see a number of the community portraits that our teams and individuals completed. People kind of took a different approach with it, but overall it was very insightful and rich conversation, like Christy had said previously. And those portraits were then combined to create final portraits for each of the community forums. So up in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see the Spanish Forum portrait, and the bottom left-hand corner is the Chamber and Community Forum portrait that was combined. The center portrait on the bottom is from the very first one that the school district did at Summer Institute last summer. And then the bottom right is the one that the recent graduates did in their online Zoom forums. And then the top right is the combined portrait that the educators created. And as you can see, there's a lot of words here, and we tried to do our best to combine common themes and come up with the words and attributes and skills that really meant the most to all members of our community. So here is the first final rough draft of the portrait. We wanted it to represent or be applicable to all grade levels, and that is also the reason why we changed the name from Portrait of a Graduate to Portrait of an Elma Eagle. Portrait of a Graduate seemed a little too high school centric, and this is something that we can apply even in kindergartners. And as we go on, we'll talk about the next steps for this. But again, it was just supposed to be reflective of the diversity that we have in our district and be applicable to all grade levels. And that was the key behind the design.
Okay, so Elma students will be culturally aware. We really wanted this to represent, that students are going to be aware of different things from around the world and have all these different ideas and have empathy, be able to embrace diverse perspectives and be open to new ideas. And then we really think it's important that Elma students will find value in diversity.
On this one to me was an interesting process that we ended up doing. It ended up being that we were going for informed and engaged neighbors. But a backstory of that is that we actually had it as informed and engaged citizens. And we really contemplated that word for the fact is that, will citizen be accepted across the board and equitable? Because it does definitely have a different meaning based on how you use it in a context. And so it was just a fun process when we had our final committee. We had Eunice Black that was helping us with translation and making sure that everything that we are using is going to translate well into Spanish. We also had Ronaldo Ayala on our final committee panel, and then us in live. And we really just contemplated this, and it probably took us a good 20 minutes to figure out how we're going to change citizen to a word that's going to be universal and friendly for everybody. And so we landed on neighbors, and I'll be honest, that probably touches my heart the most through that process.
We wanted our students to be critical thinkers. And that's a skill that will carry you very far in life if you're a critical thinker. And so we thought that it would be important for them to be able to evaluate information to ensure its accuracy and relevance, that the students would be able to make constructive choices, be problem solvers and innovators, and then also find creative solutions.
Elma students will be visionary. A lot of the talk that we did in the recent graduate survey was having a more solidified plan for your future coming out of high school. And with that also being aware of the different options and opportunities that are available to us. And then earlier on than in high school, to start learning and becoming confident in your unique skills and abilities as a student and as a person. Elma students will also be effective communicators. We talked a lot about being effective communicators, both verbally, written, digitally. A lot of the business leaders that we spoke to said this is something that they wish recent graduates would be more proficient in. Also, Elma students will be capable of expressing their thoughts, ideas, and feelings. And this, we talked also about emotional intelligence and how to build healthy relationships. And a big key part of that is being an effective communicator.
And you see that we have used the word confidence a few different times. That we felt was kind of fundamental, that when our students can come out of our school and our community with confidence, they really can, the sky's the limit.
So students should be resilient and adaptable. So this is such an important trait, and we thought that this was such a big word, but we weren't quite sure how to necessarily like tie it in. We had to tie it in, but we weren't sure necessarily like which word were we going to choose, either resilient or adaptable. And we're like, we love them both. So our students should be able to overcome adversity, and they should have the perseverance to reach their goals, and they'll have the confidence to take risks and keep trying. Elma students will be physically, mentally, and emotionally resilient. They will also be able to have strong and healthy relationships, and they will be able to adapt and succeed in our ever-changing complex world.
And just again, another note where we were really putting equity, a lens of equity on. When you look at the one where students will be physically, mentally, and emotionally resilient, at one time we had spoke that it would be healthy, but we can't guarantee that and support that, but we really want to encourage resiliency. Because all of us at various times in our life may not necessarily be at the top of our health for those different areas. So again, we really wanted to make sure that we had the lens of equity in mind for choosing some of our wording.
Resiliency also went along with vision. We talked a lot about you could have a vision, but if you don't have the resiliency to overcome the challenges you'll face, it'll be really hard to reach your goals. So we wanted to make sure that we had both pieces of that in this. Elma students will have practical knowledge. We talked a lot in the community forums and the chamber forums about having basic skills, but also being able to acquire the knowledge and skills that you need to be a productive citizen and adult. For example, people want their kids to know how to change a tire, or at least know how to find out how to change a tire, or who to reach out to learn how to change a tire. We also talked a lot about financial and technology, being literate in both of those, and then also having the perseverance to learn new concepts. So that kind of goes along with resiliency as well. And then again, just not being afraid to ask for questions and search for the answers that you might be looking for.
And again, we threw out some different words like post-secondary readiness or adulting 101. And again, is that going to be language that would be user-friendly for everybody? And we ended up landing on practical knowledge because we felt like that encompassed everything and was more user-friendly.
It definitely like applies to preschool through 12th grade
Mhm.
also.
Yes.
That was a very good point.
Another term that we had discussed was self-sufficiency, but we realized that that wasn't necessarily achievable for all of our students. So again, the reason why we went away from self-sufficiency.
So I think after this, you can see that there's, we basically had probably over 200 different portraits that we were gleaning from in words and then moving, continuing to condense that with a variety of meetings. Again, just being a part of the process was really amazing. I think, I know us three being a part of that and pretty much attending all the forums, that we felt like we were enriched with concepts and knowledge from our community and the people who are investing in our kids. I wouldn't trade that for the world. But I do think that what we have now is a document and at least a template that now we can continue to review and make sure it is a living document. And this is where something I would really like the school board to really look at it and make sure, are we missing something? Or do we need to add or adjust or change? Again, wording, I think, is essential in this, and we really learned that a lot of that. I really do want to give the acknowledgement to a variety of people that were a part of this. Like I said, we worked with the Chamber of Commerce. We had many community members that came to our forums that stepped outside of their comfort zone and participated. And that is so, it was really amazing. We also had a lot of educators that stepped up and was a part of this process. And just like I said, the discussion was just enriching and it was wonderful. And we really look forward to the future of our Elma School District because we think that this is going to be fundamental and monumental for the growth and development of all of our students. So our closing thoughts and our next step is that we really want to now promote this to our community, get that out there, but also get our Elma School District educators and staff all on board. This is a pre-K to 12th grade, and this is not a high school initiative. This is a whole school district initiative. Because you look at the words that we have there, there's ways that we can incorporate lessons for every grade level. There's a way that we can, it's a word of the month, and similar to what the elementary does, but maybe we will look at what this portrait of an Elma Eagle is. There's also very intentional work that we need to do to connect this to our high school and beyond plan, which is technically right now a 6th through 12th grade initiative, but ultimately that whole high school and beyond plan is really a whole preschool through 12th grade initiative, but we need to start it, do a better job 6th grade through 12th grade and go from there. And then really we need to do a better job of careers. Being intentional, what are careers and beyond teacher, nurse, fireman, policeman, and not necessarily labeling all the careers. It's because that doesn't do us any good because careers are going to change and there's going to be careers invented in the next 5 years that we don't even have a concept. But can our students have a vision and growth and have the skill sets to tackle that and research it? And again, throwing out different careers in STEM careers, manufacturing careers, all of the different career clusters, we need to start that at a young age. It will benefit all of our students, no matter what their background is, low income, middle class, anything like students of color, students with IEPs, anything. We need to make sure that they know that they have all these options in these careers And that there's a variety of avenues to get there, whether that's through an apprenticeship, going through a military, going to a technical college, going to a trade school, or going to a university. Again, open more doors for all of our kids. And ultimately, we believe that this is the foundation to do that, and then connecting our high school and beyond plan to make it more intentional. Any questions?
I don't have any questions. I just want to say I appreciate and thank you for allowing me to be a part of that process. I learned a lot of things. I heard a lot of very repeated words throughout the process. So it told me that there is a lot of desire amongst our community as a whole, and to be able to condense that down and make it a vision for our community is a wonderful place to start. So I appreciate the level of intensity it's taken to do this. I totally know you guys worked hard.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You guys, through all of those meetings, and I know, Stephanie, I think you were with us in our very first admin retreat where we unveiled this plan.
Right.
The amount of work and investment everybody's put in. You know, Jamie Jo did a great job tracking down all of these recent graduates. You could also, if you teaching, you could maybe look like search for people for the FBI. I don't know if you thought about that.
Maybe.
Side job.
To the work that Christy's just done on trying to make sure she was turning over every single stone and every turning stone. And that Karina Brown, she's not here tonight, but her involvement with call and engage families and track down families and the work of Ms. Brown. There was a big investment in our district staff to make sure all of these voices were heard. And I just really want to express my gratitude. This finished product is beyond expectation. Like, this is absolutely incredible, like incredible. So I just want to thank you guys.
Thank you.
I'm trying to put my thought into the right words, but I think one of the pieces that inspires me is, for one, I love the perspective of this is really a birth all the way through piece. I mean, because in many ways I'm like, I think those might be, not learning to grow. But this would be like the preschool benchmarks of like, if we can get children to do these, they can enter kindergarten well. They've got the social skills and self-management to acquire knowledge because they can, they can socially interact with each other appropriately. But I think what's really powerful about this is I saw the comments, and there is a desire to raise the quality of education, right? But in many ways, all of these things are like the top tier of Maslow. So it's implying that we already have to have the obvious ones put in place. But when we start having classrooms that are beyond just acquiring material and just acquiring knowledge and really starting to engage in powerful and meaningful ways to each other and to life beyond the walls of a classroom, that's pretty inspiring stuff for kids. And so when I think about what this could shift in education K-12, I think that should be really exciting for the future.
Well, the way we facilitate that education and those lessons and curriculum is different, is going to be different.
Yes, and that was my notes. Is this a shift in education? Is this where we see a weight in curriculum and instruction? And what does that look like in the actual classroom? Because a lot of these pieces are not part of traditional textbook. They're part of taking the content and making it alive and rich and engaging in a classroom. And I think that, as a board member, that's my passion, is that our classrooms that's what every single classroom's like. So.
And I can tell you, in our educator committee, we've had some amazing conversations. And not necessarily, we didn't
All get along.
all get along or agree
Right.
with the concepts, but it really allowed us to have some good conversations, to think about it. And then oftentimes we would wait 2 weeks and we'd come back to the next meeting afterwards. And then we'd revisit it. And it was just, and I hope that those conversations keep going. And I think they will. And I really believe in our educator committee. They're a strong group that now what we want to do is make sure that we're expanding that group. It's very heavy on high school, but we want to expand it to be more elementary and middle school. And we do have some representatives, but not
I loved hearing somebody's thoughts that was different than mine and be like, I would not have thought of it that way. Like, honestly, like, okay, that makes sense. Like, why you think that way? Because I just hadn't taken that into my perspective.
We will get better because we will have honest conversations.
Just more, I feel like we're set up for a presentation to talk about how we can build systems, begin building student agency.
Tonight?
In
Next, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
No,
Tonight?
Not tonight,
I probably could, but
in 2 weeks.
yes.
Right, so we're gonna talk about what we're doing to build that infrastructure, to build that student agency, to build that collaboration. So then that way our system isn't, read the chapter, answer the questions in the back, but how can we create a system where you're meeting math, English, and science standards, but we're building upon student, student relationships. So, and that's the next presentation.
Should throw out for every teacher that's listening that's about ready to go. Is that all they think we do is read the textbook? That was not my, whoever this camera, that's not my heart.
We
I'm
don't,
wanting us to rise up no matter where you're at.
we don't think that at all. We actually have an amazing group of teachers who have built this plan on how we can have the
Right.
infrastructure on how Elma really is leading the state. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been, whether this today, we'll talk about it in good news.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you again. Okay, communications and comments. I don't think we have anybody from ETO, EESP, COPA, admin. Did any emails come through since my last communication? Okay. No public comment, then bless you. Good news.
Well, we had a lot of parades to send students off to state this week. I'm hoping the fire department doesn't send us their fuel bill. But I mean, just an extreme amount of success between FFA state. We now have the new FFA state president and just a couple championships, right?
3 championships
3 championships.
in FFA, 3 in skills.
We had students off to, we had state baseball. We had state soccer and just about state softball. You were 1 game away.
Two. I think it was 2.
And then, and now we also have athletes off to state track this week. So this was just an absolutely incredible week, just a really, really, really incredible week. So, and then we'll talk about some of the other great things going on in our superintendent's report.
Okay, unfinished business. Yeah, the approval of the 2022-2023 school calendar. Excuse me, district calendar.
Attached is the calendar. We've gone through, we've worked with all of our associations. So we're just asking for board action on the approval of district calendar.
Is this the same number of late starts?
It's not, we've trimmed some of the late starts to give us capacity on our instructional minutes.
Okay,
Because even though we were at our days during the late start weather days, if we had any waivers of those days, Elma would not be able to take advantage of those because we were right down to the wire on our instructional minutes.
Oh,
okay,
So we wanted to give ourselves more capacity on those minutes.
okay,
So that's where we try to find that capacity.
perfect. Okay, I will move for the approval of the 2022-23 school calendar.
I'll second that.
and a motion made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. New business, approval of Elma Volleyball Booster fundraiser, and I think Amanda Swartz is with us. There you are. Hi, Amanda.
Hello. I think the 2 things you guys have is the fundraiser
for the shirts. So we're just gonna add money on there, our spirit wear. We don't have a logo yet or whatever. We're just gonna add money onto the spirit wear as a fundraiser. And then the concessions at the home games. If we can have those.
What is the letter of fundraising?
So they, a couple of years ago, when we couldn't really go out and fundraise, they submitted like 10 letter, like each volleyball player submitted 10 names that they knew specifically, and we sent out, you know, like, hey, do you want to donate to the Elma volleyball? You can send in this amount, and it was a really good fundraiser. So it was just a kind of a family and friends way to do it without them, just through a letter. So.
Okay, so just like you said, family and friends, not a cold call list or whatnot.
Yes, yeah, all the kids had to bring
Just curious.
10 people they knew or their parents knew
Perfect.
to send stuff out, yeah.
We had somebody else. I
The
think we had
kids can't really.
The letter, does it state that it's the boosters or does it state the kids?
It's a booster letter, and then they put their name on it, like Brooklyn Swartz is requesting help, you know, but it's for the boosters. But the kid is on there to represent the volleyball boosters.
The parent would need to be the one doing the, yeah. Well, can I
Go
speak to
ahead.
that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the kids they can help to a point, but it really has to be parent driven
Right,
for the boosters. It's the only thing just to be aware of.
yeah.
So,
It really should be like the parents being the vocal present, like initiating the letter. The students would maybe help come up with the list or something but the parents need to be doing the active fundraising.
Right.
I'll make a approval of the Elma Volleyball Booster fundraisers for the 22-23 school year.
It's hard to say, isn't it?
There's been a motion made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Amanda. Best of luck.
It's spirit driven on the letter, so thank you for that too.
Okay. Approval of the CBRE work order number 2.
We had an expansion in the contract over the new state legislative requirements on site and survey study that's now requiring more
Seismic.
seismic studies.
That's what
That was seismic.
Seismic studies.
We're in tune.
So there's now additional requirements as part of our site and survey study. This is additional work order number 2, because there was one, and then we got the second one included is the price of $1,500 to also convert all of our blueprints to digital format. So all of our blueprints were in big rolls.
Okay.
And now our blueprints, now we have electronic versions of all of our district blueprints. So that's why this one is number 2. And then the original one that did the large one was the new increase for the site and survey. So that wasn't necessarily our project management, that was them subcontracting the site and survey study for our state site and survey study. So we're seeking approval to expand that portion of the contract to meet the increases regarding that site and survey and the digital electronic scanning of our blueprints.
I'll move for the approval of CBRE work order number 2. I'll second it.
There's been a motion made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Enrollment.
I'll get up now. So as you can see, our building enrollment for the month of May. We are maintaining about a 1,507 student average, so we're down a little bit from our April 1,510 student count. It's still above the average rate, and with our beginning enrollment rate of 1,468 to 1,507, we're still well beyond what we had budgeted for. So enrollment continues to go up. And also we're above the 1,500 student range. So we're doing really, really well. I think this gives us a pretty optimistic look on what enrollment will look like next fall.
You guys have any questions? Looks good. All right. Budget report, Ms. Arnold.
I think you guys have copies of the report. I apologize for being late. I was with an auditor most of last week, either for food service or our state audit. So I was a little late getting reports out. We're looking at doing ending right around 2.4 million. Any questions?
A much better place than we had anticipated, right?
Yes, ESSER has been a blessing in disguise,
Well,
our federal funds.
I think it's been used strategically and well to cover, some good pieces.
The, and I didn't say it outright, but our ALE enrollment average year to date is about 75.5 students. We had a budgeted 15 student enrollment for our
Wow.
virtual. And so we're finishing the year up, so we're at 75.5. So that bluntly carried us. I mean, we're maintaining in-person learning of about 1,420, which is actually about 20 students or 30 students below 28.95 below average so our in-person learning is still down. But by using our ESSER to launch and stand up an online school, we're actually beyond that. And that was honestly, that was what generated the capacity. So that work of Ms. Moore, tireless work. I think you sacrificed most of June because those applications were due to the state before June 30 of last year. So I'm actually happy. I think my first day was July 1st, but I'm happy I came over for the month of June as well. Because that's what we worked on getting those applications submitted and having those approved by June 30 is really what strategically changed that, but also is what guided that forecasting because we built our budget around not anticipating that online enrollment. So without Ms. Moore's work on that, that would be a very different picture.
You're always good at deflecting to the team, but thank you.
So, and that's not a small feat.
Chris, are we, what are we planning for summer school programs? Are we doing something with our ESSER money for summer school or?
The bulk of what we're doing right now is we're setting up a lot of online school options. And I don't know, Julie, if you wanted to kind of hit some of those
Sure.
options.
We've extended an ESPA. Those students are able to complete if they're running behind. And because we had open enrollment where students could enroll late, this is giving them that opportunity to finish. They're getting 3 additional weeks. We have to complete that by June 28th. So that's part of the summer school. We have, we're bringing online Arizona State for some kids to get some head start and some credit recovery if they need it. East Grace Harbor is also doing a completion of some time, and hopefully if we can get it approved, a ramp up in August again for some students to be getting some credit recovery. We have a few students in the middle and elementary school and the ESBA that are gonna complete, we're not pushing that. That completion point for them as much as we are for the high school kids to get that credit, not be behind. But that's kind of what we've got going on so far.
You want to give a quick update on what we've done with the, Elma received what was called the balanced calendar grant.
Yeah.
I think there was a big concern was Elma looking to move the overall district to a balanced calendar. In our grant application, that was never the case. That was never our intent. Our intent was to, and this was available within the grant, it was great. I think we made the news on the districts who got the balanced calendar grant. We're like, okay, hold on. That's not what our grant said. We applied in the interest of pursuing a modified calendar. The reason why we pursued the interest of a modified calendar is we were looking for the ability to align our K-12 Eagle Sky Virtual Academy calendar to the Arizona State University semester schedule as they begin earlier in August. So to just have one program aligned to the university schedule. So Elma students looking to connect through a 4-year degree can now take Arizona State University courses all the way through 300 and 400 level coursework, which is actually courses in your bachelor's degree. So beyond an associate's degree, but aligned to a bachelor's degree. And we have that program in a soft launch where we're ready to go and pilot, and students now through the Elma School District in a pilot phase can begin taking Arizona State University courses this summer.
It's true. Actually, we have 2 students who have enrolled already in the, because Arizona State starts their summer time, May 24th is this kickoff. So we have 2 students piloting that for us on May 24th. And we have some more students jumping on board on June 21st. And then the fall semester starts, I think it's August 16th. And there's various options available for those students. It's a really good opportunity for students who want to get going and do some things. So, and they stay with us. It's a good thing, and it is in that modified calendar component, but it's just for those programs. And so I'm excited to move that program and hand it on off to Wendy Belden and as we transition in. So we're working as a team, and it's moving forward. I'm very happy and proud of that progress, and I probably is oozing out right now, but it's just like,
But you
yes,
should
this
be.
is a good.
We are close to it for the official announcement, the official launch, but this last few months has just been making sure we have the infrastructure.
Nice. Good deal. Okay, superintendent report.
So I missed one. We have on my good news was congratulating Emmy Spencer on her equestrian state bid as well. So I just asked for forgiveness on leaving that out. I shouldn't have, but that should have, so just an incredible showing. On Thursday last week was Ms. Kershaw's due diligence and her work for 5 Elma students, the signing day for our registered apprenticeship. And we're looking to get we'll put some press out on that here soon. We had 5 Elma students signed on with 3 companies, A&R Aviation and Tumwater, Sierra Pacific, and both going to be in the Shelton manufacturing shop, but we'll expand to both the Shelton and Aberdeen locations, and Vaughn Pump, where students will now be signed up for a 2,000-hour registered apprenticeship through the Washington State Department of Labor. They will be earning apprenticeship wages, which used to be pretty high now. I think over the span of their apprenticeship, I think a lot of them are making just shy of $20 an hour, right?
Yeah, it varies, 18 in some change and 19 in some change.
So, and then with their, so $18 to $19, so I think they're going to be earning more than I earned my first year as a teacher. I think I was at 28 grand a year, and that was in 2006. I don't know, where were you at? So they're going to be earning more than that. But they will earn 15 college credits, high school academic credit. It's all during the workday. And then their work time during the school day doesn't even count on their youth work time. So normally minors are only allowed to work 20 hours a week. But if they're working during the school day and earning high school credit and college credit, that doesn't factor into that 20 hours a week that they're allowed to work, because that's still school time. So they still have their whole work time beyond that. So students will be working during the school day, earning credit, getting paid, working towards a journey level certification through a full registered apprenticeship. So I think we're really excited. So that was the signing day on Thursday. And we just think it's just a great culmination on the work of Mary Roberts and Christy Kershaw on working with our business partners, lining our programs out, making large investments through a lot of grants to build out our programs. So
Well, we have 2 instructors that have loved that to make that.
that's right. Mr. Renz and Mr. Henry and a lot of their work in the line of their program. So we don't think this is our only program that we'll have. We just think that, and Thursday wasn't a culmination event. It was like a first step in the right direction. Then today, and we'll have another visit on Friday, we have the State Board of Education touring the Elma School District today regarding our mastery-based learning work. I feel confident in saying Elma is a statewide leader in the mastery-based work. We're, I think, the only whole school district doing the whole mastery-based learning work and mapping it out and building infrastructure for a K-12 system. So it was great having an early study. The State Board of Education will be publishing their work and documenting the progress on this implementation of mastery-based learning. And to know that today was Elma's visit. Julie gets her visit on Friday. So I think we're getting a lot of pretty excited. So we're having a lot of great things happen right now.
I said it before, but it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of really good stuff, and it's a lot of good work going on. I don't know how you guys find the time all day and keep your calendar straight, but.
Christy told me that she's due for a nap.
Like on a sandy beach. She'd probably take just plain asphalt. She's probably not. I'm still worked out for Mr. Bay State.
Julie and Eric haven't said they're in for a nap, but I think they've both implied it. Jamie or Joe, are you due for a nap?
Yes.
All right, Jamie Joe is also due for a nap.
Okay.
So this work, honestly, this is our last meeting in May. Our next meeting is the last meeting before the end of the school year, but so far you've heard from our pre-K work. Today was our career and college readiness meeting. The next one is going to be our mastery-based learning. Our administrators took to building teams, and they've had teachers volunteer to be part of these teams, to be co-creators, and what does this look like for the Elma School District? And it really has been. I mean, you've seen the work shorthand, so I don't think I need to tell you how just incredible they've done as they've framed out the implementation and launch process. And I think kind of our quiet hero, you saw Eric's presentation on our district data. Eric sitting in the background and building out all of the infrastructure so we can monitor the progress of the implementation of our plans. I think when we came in, we asked each person to take on a project, and I think you can see the administrative team and then the teacher teams that they've built have just really done an incredible job. Like, just really take their kind of piece of how can we make Elma better and just ran with it. And they've just sort of really done a good job. So. I'll just keep on telling good things about our people.
A lot of good stuff to tell. Thank you. Okay, Delaney, hi. It's good to have you here.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't been here in a really long time, but FFA State was really fun. We, like Ms. Kershaw said, we got a couple state champs, which is really cool. I'm on a team that's a state champion team, which is really awesome. And so we're really excited to go to nationals in October, which is going to be so cool. We also have, as Mr. Nesmith mentioned, a state president, which is crazy. That was so exciting to see. I don't know if anyone watched the live stream of that, but as soon as they said the vice president's name, we thought that he was going to be president. And so we all sort of run it up there, and we were all recording with our phones. We did a live stream on the FFA Instagram page, and it was just so exciting. So big congrats to Sam. Spring sports are finishing up. Just to anyone who competed in anything, anyone who coached or anything, people who just came and watched, just a big thank you. And we're just really proud of everyone because, you know, it kind of feels like the first more normal sports season we've had in a really long time. And it's just, I know it's been hard for a lot of people. And so finishing strong is just like a really big part of that. And I think that's really awesome. I also wanted to kind of bring up a bit of recent events, especially, you know, what happened today in Texas. I just wanted to talk about that. There are healthy and safe outlets for everyone that are really beneficial and really helpful. And kind of speaking of those, I had a meeting with Mr. Oppiger this morning. And I'm planning on putting some hotline numbers on the back of our school ASB cards. So I have 3 that I'm already thinking of, like suicide hotline, obviously, sexual assault hotline, the Trevor Project. If any of you guys know about that organization, it's an incredible organization that's does really amazing things for our LGBTQ plus youth. And so anyone who has any ideas for like hotlines or anything, emails, whatever, to put on the back of those cards, please reach out to me because definitely open to taking suggestions. Yeah, just, you know, taking care of yourself, finishing the school year strong. We're almost done. It's almost summertime. It was warm in Kennewick when we were there sometime.
At least one day.
Yeah, at least one day. The other day it was raining, but so hopefully it's starting to warm up again, you know, get some vitamin D. So yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. We will go ahead and head into executive session for 30 minutes for bargaining. There'll be no action taken. Thank you everyone again tonight for all of your reports and wonderful work. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know if that's enough, but thank you.
Thank you for supporting it. I mean, we can't do this unless we get the support of our board and our community, everything. I mean, it's a big deal. It's team, it's love. I'm willing to mention it. Got you donating.
She spent too much time with you, Jenny. She don't be drinking water, getting rest. Giving a price tea.
Oh, you give a high IC.
I haven't said much tonight, but you know that I do appreciate. I'm emotional.
Don't talk to Jamie, she has a senior.
You warned us.
Yes, I warned you guys, but yeah.
So we will go into executive session at 6:58. We will come out at
If I can stare
7:28.
at you, I probably could make you cry.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Good night.
Christine and Nancy, well, Jamie, I think when it's in a package, it's just powerful.
Yeah. Is it on?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I have to have a motion. don't I will move that we adjourn.
Second that.
There's been a motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting's over. Thank you. As we